Hi, and welcome to TXDZNY. On today's show, I'm going to be talking about some tips and tricks if you're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this fall and summer, really, at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. So, what is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? It is a paid ticketed event that's not included in your regular general admission. Um, these ticket prices will run anywhere from $119 to $199. Now, there are slight discounts if you're like an annual pass member, DVC member. Kids are a little bit cheaper, but in general, that's about the price range. The dates that these are running will be August 9th through Halloween night. So it is a very long thing. It is on select nights. It's not every single night. So keep that in mind. These events can sell out fast. So, like for instance, I believe Halloween night's already sold out, and opening night I think was already sold out. So it's not something you can just kind of get the day of. Sometimes you can that there's still availability, but in general you do need to get tickets for this in advance. So think about if you want to go to this after hours party event beforehand on your Magic Kingdom days. Before I jump into what is included with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, I just want to keep in mind to some of you that are regular guests on these days, if you're going during this any time frame from August 9th through Halloween, and even after that, because then it's going to go to the Christmas party, pay attention if there is a party that night. And why I say this is because if you're a regular guest, they do kick you out of the park at 6 p.m. on those nights, and they won't be playing Happily Ever After. So you might be thinking you're going to have a regular day at Magic Kingdom and seeing the whole fireworks and everything like that. But if it is a party night, you are going to be missing a fireworks show, and they will be closing the park early for regular guests. So keep that in mind. To piggyback off of that, if you do have a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party ticket, you don't have to wait until 6 p.m. to go to the party. They will let you in at 4 if you're not like an annual pass holder or have a ticket to Magic Kingdom that day. They will let you in at 4, and the event does run from, they'll let you in at 4, and it runs till midnight, but the actual event is only going to be running from 6 to midnight. So my first main tip about talking with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is on the day you're going to the party to not go to the parks that day in the morning and afternoon. We like taking it easy those days because you are going to be up later. This is especially true if you have kids. You know, I have a 6 and a 4-year-old, and they can't make it from, whatever, 7, 8 a.m. all the way through midnight. Just way too long of a day. It's too long of a day for me, quite frankly, to be on my feet going around the park. So we like to kind of take it easy, maybe do a nice breakfast those mornings, hang out by the pool. This festival is, not festival, this party is, and mostly when it's still very hot in Florida and running through the fall. So as well, you can still use the pools quite a bit, and just kind of take it easy, doing a nice little lunch, maybe even taking a nap, and start heading into that park at 4 p.m. and getting good use out of that. You're still going to have 8 hours in the park, so it's not like you're not going to have very much time. You're going to have 8 full hours. It's no different than if you were to be going to the park at 9 a.m. and be leaving at 5 p.m. So keep that in mind, that it's a good idea to kind of relax that day for your energy levels to be at a max when you are going into the park at 4 p.m. for party nights. My next tip is to dress up for the Halloween party. You are allowed to dress up like you're going trick-or-treating or something for this Halloween party. Now, there are guidelines to it that you can go look at the Disney's website for. Obviously you can't be wearing anything too spooky, not too revealing, stuff like that. I think everyone with basic knowledge will kind of know what you can and can't wear. But have fun with it. But also be mindful of the weather. Like I said, it is going to be hot, especially early on for these Halloween parties. So you don't want to be wearing, like, let's say, for example, you don't want to be wearing a Sully costume for a Halloween party at the end of August. You're going to be sweating like no other for that whole time. So be a little bit mindful of your costume if you do choose to wear one. But I do recommend doing it. It's really cool to sit there and mix and match with maybe a group, and the kids really can have fun with it. It's like a bonus night for them to dress up. So have fun with that if you're going into the Halloween party. So now to some of my tips once you're actually going to the party and you're about to go in. And I think this is true of pretty much any like Disney day, but very true for this, for going into parties, is to have a game plan. Have an idea with you and your party of what you all want to do. Even if it's like different people want to do different things, if you're with a group, maybe split up and do different things. But have a clear game plan. You don't want to just be sitting there, standing around, not knowing what to do on a paid ticket event like this. Obviously there's always some curveballs, like lines being longer than what you think, some rides may be down and such like that. But in general, have a game plan of what you want to do for the 8 hour or so time frame when you're going inside the party. So the biggest draw there for this Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party is the Boo to You parade. So one of the first decisions you probably need to make is decide if you want to go to the first parade or the second parade. They do two of them. They do one at 8:15 and one at 11:15. Obviously, the one at 11:15 is going to be quite a bit less crowded because a lot of people don't want to stay all the way till it ends because they maybe have kids and they need to get them to bed or something like that, or they're just tired. So the first parade will be a lot more crowded, but the second one won't be. So decide when you're planning this if you do plan on staying the whole entire time and maybe trying to hit that second parade where you can get a better spot to watch it. It's really a can't miss parade with all the great cast members out there, all dressed up for Halloween and doing their different dancing and little costumes and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite nighttime shows in all of Walt Disney World. The fireworks for the show are Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular. Now this will be at 10 p.m. So as you'd imagine, like it is when you're trying to get spots for Happily Ever After, obviously for these parties, it's not going to be a fully crowded park. So it's going to be a little bit easier to get spots than on a regular night for just watching like Happily Ever After or something like that during a crowded time. But in general, you still kind of want to get a spot a little bit beforehand to watch this fireworks show. It is a really, really different layout to how they do the fireworks and throwing different music and projections on Cinderella's castle. So it's really a can't miss, but keep that in mind of maybe getting there a little bit early to watch this fireworks show. Another can't miss during this is the Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular. And this is a little villain show that they do on the stage at Cinderella Castle. And it's really can't miss. They do 3 shows of this for the early part of, summer, fall, and then they move it to 4 shows as it gets closer to Halloween. The shows running early will be at 9, 10:45, and 12. And they add a 7:45 show as it gets closer to Halloween. So given that there's 3-4 shows of this, depending on when you're going to the party, it doesn't get as crowded. But the closer you are to the stage, the better it is. It has countless amounts of villains who are on stage doing different little shows and singing and stuff like that. It's a really cool show. So make sure you catch one of those 3 or 4 shows, depending on when you're going. New this year, they're doing a little Descendants dance party over there in Tomorrowland. My kids absolutely love Descendants. They like all of them, and they even like this new one that's out. So it's a cool little area to maybe get some energy out for your kids or something like that, or even yourself, and go over there and do this little dance party over there in the Tomorrowland area, right by like where Space Mountain and all that is. This next tip I think is really, really big, because the 2 main things that people want to do besides those shows that I all just mentioned is you're trying to decide on if you really want to meet these characters in their unique Halloween little costumes, and you see a lot of characters you normally don't see, or go on these rides that some have some different overlays, and the wait times are way less than they are during the regular part of the day for regular guests. So try to make a clear plan on what matters to you more. You're there to kind of ride rides and do all the shows, or you're there to meet characters. Obviously, you can do some sort of combo, but some of these lines for some of these things can get quite a bit long, even though the crowd isn't as big. So I'll touch on the rides first. Pretty much all the rides are open at Magic Kingdom for this. The rides that are attractions that are shows are closed. So you think like Carousel of Progress, Enchanted Tiki Room, Mickey's Philhar's Magic, those are closed, but all the rides are open. This includes Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Tron, and they won't be doing the virtual queues and stuff like that for those lines. There'll be regular standby lines for the party. So those will have longer wait times than some of the other rides. And then your regular rides that normally are a little bit longer, such as Peter Pan's Flight, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and obviously Haunted Mansion, given the time of the year, will get quite a bit of a long line as well. So keep that in mind. When I'm saying long lines, on a party night that could be like 45 minutes, which a lot of these rides, let's say you're just trying to hop on like Big Thunder Mountain, a lot of times it'll be like a walk-on these party nights or like a 10-minute wait. So when rides are up there around 30, 45 minutes, that is considered a longer line on party nights. I also want to mention that Disney's new Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and the individual Lightning Lanes aren't available for the party. Now, since it's regular park times from 4 to 6, you could purchase it for that just 2-hour time frame. I don't think it'd really be worth the money. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is available for that. But you're not going to be able to use it once 6 o'clock hits. So you'd be spending that money just for pretty much be able to ride like maybe 2 rides, and that's even if they're available and stuff like that. So keep that in mind that it is all going to be just standby lines once you're inside the party at 6 p.m. Now to the character meet and greets in their special Halloween little outfits and costumes. So as you'd imagine, Jack and Sally is one of the big draws for this. So that line can get quite a bit long. So my advice, if you do care, and this is a big focus that you want to do, try to do that as early as possible. You will catch them even sometimes setting up their line before the party opens. So try to keep, maybe lurk around that area if you're trying to getting into the park right at 4. Go to that area and try to be one of the first ones in line for it, so you can get that done as fast as you possibly can. But it is a really cool little meet and greet to meet Jack and Sally during the Halloween season. Mickey and Minnie are obviously a big draw as well. They'll be all dressed up in their costumes for Halloween. So that's a great meet and greet as well, seeing them in their unique Halloween costumes for this party. Some of the other big character meet and greets are the 7 Dwarfs. They'll have Stitch dressed up as Elvis, Pooh and friends all dressed up in Halloween costumes. And a big thing Disney said they want to focus on this year is to try to add more villain meet and greets. So expect to see that this year, which I think a lot of people have been really wanting to for them to add for this Halloween season. And a little side note to this is Mirabelle and Bruno from Encanto will be meeting in that fairy tale garden right to the right of Cinderella's castle, going back to Fantasyland during this party. So if your kids really want to meet those 2 characters, that's where they'll be. Trick-or-treating is a must when you're doing this Halloween party. They have around 15 to 20 different locations throughout Magic Kingdom to do this trick-or-treating. I highly recommend trying to save this for later in the evening. What we like kind of doing is we'll stay for the later parade. And so right after fireworks at 10 p.m., we'll try to do as many trick-or-treat locations in that about 30, 45-minute window before trying to get a spot for the Boo to You parade. We'll pop in some if there's no line while we're just going around riding rides and things like that. But it's not something you really want to be wasting your time when you could be going on rides and meeting unique characters during the party, waiting in just lines for trick-or-treating. I mean, if I'm there and I'm paying $200 to be at Magic Kingdom after hours, I don't want to be waiting all my time in line just for candy. I want to be riding the rides and meeting unique characters. But that's just my opinion. Disney does have a map on where these locations are to get this candy for trick-or-treating. And they do have certain areas, for people with certain allergies and stuff like that, they can still get treats. Another tip that we do is to not do any sit-down dining really when we're doing this. Try and do just like quick service mobile orders for our dinner and stuff like that. Obviously, the kids are going to need to eat dinner. They just can't eat candy the whole entire night. But all the mobile order places will still be open for quick service. And a lot of these places for the party will have some unique items just for the party. A lot of them are mainly dessert treats and stuff like that, but they still will have your regular dishes and everything like that. So you can do that. I just wouldn't recommend getting a long sit-down dinner reservation at like Be Our Guest or Cinderella's Royal Table and have that take up, like an hour and a half, 2 hours of your party time. Save that for a different day, a different time. Be a little more efficient with your time for this party, and use that to your advantage to ride rides and meet characters and see all the shows for this Halloween party, not just sit down and eat meals. Some rides will have ride overlays for this party. And some of them I think are really, really good. Like Haunted Mansion to me is a can't miss, and they do these little shows and stuff outside the park, outside the ride, and it's a can't miss. Obviously, the Halloween and the whole theme of the ride is just perfect. Um, Especially when the sun goes down and it's dark, it's really next level. That line can get long, but to me, it is worth it. If you're gonna wait on a line, try to make it Haunted Mansion for the Halloween party. But some of the other ones can be overrated compared to some of the wait times, like the teacups sometimes can have a longer line just because it has some Halloween music and some overlays over there. Space Mountain's line can be a little inflated at times. So just pay attention on your My Disney Experience app to what these wait times are for some of these rides. But don't just say, oh, it has an overlay, I need to go on it, because some of them aren't worth it. The only one I say is 100% worth it is the Haunted Mansion one. So those are some of my tips and tricks if you're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this summer and fall. Um, I do think it's a can't miss event to at least go to at least once in your life and take your kids to. I get that it's expensive, and let's say you're a family of four and you're going on a crowded night. That's $800 to go to it. So I get that it's maybe not in everyone's budget, but to maybe try to do it at least once. I will do another, show on here talking about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which a lot of the things are very similar. But we'll touch on those. But given that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is about to start, I wanted to give some tips on the best way to utilize your time to maximize the money you've spent on your ticket. So I hope these tips and tricks helped you for this Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.